A very warm welcome to one and all present here today. I'm Shruti of class 11A. What is a war? A war is a state of open and declared armed hostile between nations. The nations all around the world strive to be together as one, but some conflicts and sparks lead to a large battle. The two world wars are undoubtedly one of the biggest examples for this. These wars have created great histories and proud heroes. They have had a big impact on India too. The students of grade 11 will now take you through these impacts and interesting facts about the war memorials built in India for our proud heroes. First, let me give you a quick introduction about World War One. World War One was a global war originating in Europe that lasted from 28 July 1914 to 11 November 1918 and was fought between the Allied powers and the Central Powers. Known as the Great War, it led to the mobilization of more than 70 million military personnel, making it one of the largest wars in history. The Indian Army during World War One contributed a large number of divisions and independent brigades to the European, Mediterranean, Middle East, and African theaters of war. In total, at least 74,187 Indian soldiers died during the war and caused India to nearly go bankrupt. The India Gate in New Delhi, built in 1931, commemorates the Indian soldiers who lost their lives fighting in World War One. I will now pass it on to Aishwarya of class 11B, who will be taking you through the Second World War and India's part in it.
World War II was one of the most deadliest, most expensive, and most widespread war ever fought in human history. It was fought between the Axis powers and the Allied powers between the time period of 1st September 1939 to 2nd September 1945 in the regions of Europe, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, Southeast Asia, China, Middle East, Mediterranean, North Africa, Horn of Africa, Central Africa, Australia, briefly North and South America. Now we'll be discussing about India in World War II. The Indian Army was one of the largest Allied forces contingents which took part in North and East African Campaign, Western Desert Campaign. World War II cost the lives of over 87,000 soldiers, aircrews and mariners from the Indian Empire. The Imphal War Memorial and the Kohima War Memorial, established in 1946, commemorate the Indian soldiers who lost their lives fighting in the World War II. Subhash Chandra Bose once quoted, "No real change in history has ever been achieved by discussions." Through this PPT, we will be finding how India was impacted by the loss of life, downfall of great empires, change in the currency rates, and also the changing roles of different sections of society. We will also be studying about some of the memorials built to commemorate the wars. It's rightly said that the war does not determine who is right, only who is left. Having said this, now I'll hand over it to my fellow friends who will guide you in detail how the wars impacted India. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I'm Amrita Vashni of class 11B and my teammates are Nityashri of class 11B and Ashita of class 11A. We're going to talk about the social impacts of World War I and II. The social impacts of World War I are: the government increased taxes on individual income and income tax were introduced, which created hardship among the people. They found it difficult even to fulfill the essential needs. Through the war years, prices increased, doubling between 1913 and 1918, leading to extreme hardship for the common people. Villages were called upon to supply soldiers, and the forced recruitment caused widespread anger among the people. Then in 1980 to 1921, crops failed in many parts of India, resulting in acute shortage of food. Over to Nityashri.
It was accompanied by the influenza epidemic. According to the census of 1921, 12 to 13 billion people were perished as a result of scarcity of food and epidemic. Many people lost their livelihood and also many died. The value of the money dropped down as the war expenditure. This was the major consequence of the World War II. Over to Harshita.
The Second World War had also caused a catastrophic loss to the Indian economy between the years 1939 to 1945. It in turn created an impact on everyday livelihood.
India contributed 2.5 million volunteer soldiers to fight for the Allies during the World War II. The British Indian Army raised the world's largest volunteer force. Over 36,000 Indian soldiers lost their lives, 34,000 were wounded, and 67,000 taken prisoners of the war. By the end of the World War II, Royal Indian Army became the largest volunteer army in history with over 25 lakh men serving. Thank you.
Impact of the First World War. In India, the return of Punjabi soldiers after the end of the war also aroused political activity against colonial rule in that province, which became the spark for further wider protests. Punjab, which supplied a large proportion of the troops, turned into an epicenter of nationalism after the war. A surge of nationalism and mass civil disobedience appeared when the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms failed to deliver on the expectation of home rule that had led to popular support for the British war effort. As the war dragged on, casualties mounted and recruitment methods grew more coercive, resentment grew to fuel nationalism.
Supported Britain in the World War on its promise for fighting for democracy, but serving India with Rowlatt immediately after the war served as an eye-opener for Indians. This led to the rise of national consciousness, and soon the non-cooperation movement was launched. Formation of the USSR after the war also led to the rise of communism in India, with the formation of the Communist Party of India, and imparted a social influence on the freedom struggle.
Impact of the Second World War. During the Second World War from 1939 to 1945, India was controlled by the United Kingdom, with the British holding regions in India, including more than 500 independent princely states. British involved India, officially proclaiming war on Nazi Germany September 1939. As a component of Allied nations, the British had sent more than 2 million troops to battle under British orders against the Axis power. The British government acquired billions of pounds to help them fund the war. The most significant ideology group existed in India at that point. The Indian National Congress requested freedom before it would support Britain, but the British denied. And when Congress declared a Quit India battle in August 1942, countless leaders were detained by the British.
Even before World War II started, the British had understood the futility of holding on their reign in India. When the war finished, Great Britain was bankrupt, incapable, and reluctant to continue keeping up colonies of the British Empire.
Hello everybody, my name is Steven and today I am going to be discussing about the topic economic impact of World War on India. As a result of war, there was a great increase in the demand of everyday goods from Britain, and these had to be imported from India. But as the sea lanes were disrupted due to war, India faced great difficulty in meeting the needs. After 1994, as a result of inflation in Britain, India benefited greatly. But in terms of international trade, the ratio of export prices to import prices was against the Indian agricultural sector. Such a situation in all the countries around the world led to the Great Depression. As a result of war, the drain on Indian economy in the form of time, cash and loan to the Britain amounted to an estimate of 367 million pounds. Domestic manufacturers in Britain benefited from the decline in the British goods as they had dominated the pre-war market. Thank you.
In this section, we will be focusing mainly on the impacts the war had on children and family. The impact of war on children. War affects children in all the ways it affects adults, but also in different ways. A certain proportion of war-affected children lose all adult protection, unaccompanied children, as they are known in refugee situations. Listing the impacts of war on children is a sadly straightforward task: death. Children are exposed to situations of terror and horror during war, experiences that may leave enduring impacts in post-traumatic stress disorder. Children may lose their community and its culture during war, sometimes having it reconstituted in refugee or diaspora situations. Almost 40 years after the war, the adult children of deployed veterans were most likely to have been diagnosed with anxiety, confidence interval, and depression. They also reported poorer current mental health. The results imply that there are significant and enduring adverse effects of parental deployment on the mental health of children in military families. It also provides some insight into the potential long-term impacts of recent military engagements in Afghanistan and Iraq. War adversely affects combatants and non-combatants alike, both physically and emotionally. Death, injury, sexual violence, malnutrition, illness, and disability are some of the most threatening physical consequences of war, while post traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety are some of the emotional effects. The terror and horror spread by this violence of war disrupts lives and severs relationships and families. As most soldiers had gone to fight in the war, women had to replace men in the workforce. This put a lot of pressure upon the older children in the family, as they had to take care of the household duties and any younger children. Many of the men who came back from the war were suffering from serious injuries, the effects of mustard gas or shell shock. They were too tormented to talk about their experiences, and often it would take them a long time to recover from the trauma of the war. This meant that some women had become responsible of supporting the entire family. The children were scared about their fathers going to war because they might not see them again. However, some children became very confused when their fathers did return because they did not understand the effects of trauma on their fathers and didn't know how to communicate with them. When faced with several environmental threats or obstacles like this, individuals may either succumb to stresses or overcome existing ones by becoming resilient. Empirical studies show that psychological resilience is, in fact, the standard response to traumatic life events for adults and is typically mediated by demographic and social factors occurring during war and after the event. Further, as a Harvard study affirms, certain protective factors such as positive relationships and a strong biological disposition can help children as well as adults survive and thrive in the face of adversity.
Greetings. I'm gonna be speaking about what are war memorials and why were they built. War memorials are any physical objects erected to commemorate those who sacrificed their lives in wars or conflicts. They are usually erected by local communities or groups which were associated with all those who sacrificed their lives. Each memorial represents the community's chosen method of remembrance, like cenotaphs, or something more utilitarian, like a bus shelter. Thus, this makes every memorial. The memorials are important as they remind the people in the present to remember and respect all those who sacrificed their lives in the past. It also helps in expressing the emotions of the people in the post-war period. The oldest war memorial in the UK is Oxford University's All Souls College. It was founded in 1438 with the provision that its members should pray for all those who were murdered in the long wars with France. War memorials for the Franco-Prussian War in 1870-71 was the first in Europe to have a rank and file based soldiers commemorated by name. Every soldier that was killed was granted to have a permanent resting place as of the terms of the Treaty of Frankfurt. In the modern times, the main intent of war memorials is not to glorify war but to honor all those who have died in wars. Using modern technology, an international project is currently archiving all post-1914 Commonwealth war graves and a Commonwealth War Graves Commission memorials to create a virtual memorial.
I am Madhusmita and we will talk about the types of war memorial. The first war memorial is stone carved war memorial. It is a tradition of hand-carved headstones with a memorial going back hundreds of years. The second one is the machine gun corpus. It is a memorial for the casualties of the machine guns corpus in the First World War. Third one is the War Memorial Wall. It contains the names of the soldiers who gave their lives for our country. The fourth one that we're going to see is the Statue War Memorial. It is a freestanding sculpture. It is full-length figures of freedom fighters during the World War One. The fifth one is the Monument War Memorial. The type of structure is created for the soldiers who become really relevant to the social groups as a part of the remembrance of the history. The sixth one, we are going to talk about the memorial walls, either to a public park dedicated to a memorial event.
Hey guys, I'm Sajid Darshan. Let us look into war memorial gates. Memorial gates and arches in the form of gates constructed as a memorial, often dedicated to a particular war. Next is memorial walks. The function of a memorial walk is to provide a path for visitor access to a memorial section where memorial plaques are mounted on stones or monuments to commemorate certain wars. Next is War Memorial Garden. A memorial garden provides a long-lasting tribute to a loved one who passed away, as well as offers a place for the survivors to remember and to heal. Next is War Memorial Crosses. A memorial cross is a cross-shaped memorial to commemorate a war or soldiers. It may also be a simple form of headstone to commemorate the dead. Next is War Memorial Column. A war memorial column is a monument in the form of column erected in memory of a victorious battle, war or revolution.
Hi, I'm Mahalakshmi. I want to speak about War Memorial Clock. The names of soldiers and the War Memorial dates should be engraved on the clocks, which is truly a unique tradition. Next, we're going to see about War Memorial Sundials. Memorial sundials are personalized by using sunlight and shadow to illuminate a special day. War Memorial Medal. A memorial medal is typically the size of a large coin which has an inscription or design which is awarded as a distinction to someone such as a soldier. War Memorial Bench. A memorial bench is a piece of furniture which commemorates a person who has died. They are mostly placed in public places but often placed in domestic gardens.
India Gate. History, construction, significance. This nation will be the land of the free only so long as it is the land of the brave. History of India Gate. India Gate is one of many British monuments built by order of the Imperial War Graves Commission, later renamed as Commonwealth War Graves Commission. The architect was Sir Edwin Lutyens, an Englishman who designed numerous other war memorials and was also the principal planner of New Delhi. The cornerstone was laid in 1921 by the Duke of Connaught, third son of Queen Victoria. Construction of the All India War Memorial, as it was originally known, continued until 1931, the year of formal dedication of New Delhi as the capital of India. The names of individual Indian soldiers, more than 13,000 of them in number, according to the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, are inscribed in smaller letters on the monuments. Inscription above the archway. To the dead of the Indian armies who fell and are honored in France, Flanders, Mesopotamia and Persia, East Africa, Gallipoli and elsewhere, in the near and the far east, and in sacred memory also of those whose names are here recorded and who fell in India on the northwest frontier and during the Third Afghan War.
Construction of India Gate. Sir Edwin Lutyens designed the India Gate. He was a leading memorial architect and also a member of IWGC. He built it as a memorial, free for any religious association or cultural orientation. They started construction on 10th February 1921 and completed it on 12th February 1931. It was situated in the middle of a hexagonal complex. The structure is about 42 meters tall and 9.1 meters wide. The building material is primarily red and yellow sandstones sourced from Bharatpur. Architecture. The architectural style of India Gate is that of a triumphal arch and is often compared with the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, the Gateway of India in Mumbai, and the Arc of Constantine. The structure stands on the low base and rises in asymmetrical steps crowned with a shallow dome at the top. India Gate also houses a small structure called Amar Javan Jyoti, which consists of marble pedestal with a centre on its top. The structure is surrounded by permanently burning flames fueled by the CNG on all the four sides.
I am Turandra Manigandan of class 11A. I am going to talk about the significance of India Gate. The India Gate is a war memorial in New Delhi commemorating the dead of the First World War. The monument is an imposing 42 meters high arch and was designed by the famous architect Edwin Lutyens. India Gate was earlier named All India War Memorial. At the base of the India Gate, there is another memorial, the Amar Jawan Jyoti, that was added after independence. This eternal flame was lighted in commemoration of the unknown soldiers who laid their lives to serve this nation. The significance of the Amar Jawan.
We are here to tell you some interesting facts about India Gate. I'm Diya Jason of class 11B. Did you know that the India Gate stands on a low base of red Bharatpur stones and rises in stages to a huge molding? It has the names of Indian soldiers who gave up their lives during the Afghan wars and the World War inscribed on its walls. It is 42 meters high and is the venue for hoisting the Indian flag during the Republic Day parade, which was previously hoisted in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. After independence, the war memorial was dedicated to the Indian Army's Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. Amar Jawan Jyoti was added as another memorial which burns day and night under the arch to remind the nation of soldiers who laid down their lives in the Indo-Pakistan War of December 1971. Now on to Paras.
India Gate is also a popular picnic spot for people who rather have a nice time in the lush green lawns and in the boating areas. India Gate was built to commemorate the 70,000 soldiers of the Indian Army who had lost their lives due to the Third Anglo-Afghan War and the First World War between the period 1914-1921. With that I conclude. Thank you. Now on to Pradesh.
Hello everyone. It took approximately 10 years to complete its construction, and its foundation was laid by Duke of Connaught on February 10, 1921. There are some names inscribed in it. The names are of 13,218 servicemen, including some officers as well as the soldiers from United Kingdom. The best time to visit the India Gate is from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. as the light illuminated during the evenings and it looks very beautiful. At Amar Jawan Jyoti, soldiers from all the three services of the Indian Armed Force are kept vigil around the clock. India Gate is a patriotic attraction, but it is also a famous picnic spot in Delhi. Thank you. Now I hand over the PPT to Sriram of class 11B.
I am PV Sriram and I am going to continue from where Pradesh left off. Did you guys know that the India Gate was designed by Edwin Lutyens, who was the chief architect of Delhi back then? He was also considered to be a great designer of war memorials at that time. The ceremony honored the 59 Shinde rifles, 3rd Separators and Minors, 34 Sikh Pioneers, Deccan Horse, 6 Jatlite Infants, 39 Garhwal rifles, 117 Marathas and 5th Gorkha rifles, with royal titles for the big competition. India Gate is world's highest global war heritage, which is visited by millions of Indians every day. It is made of red sandstone and granite. Thank you.
Kohima War Memorial. Introduction. Introduction to Kohima War. The Kohima War took place in 1944 during the Second World War along with the Battle of Imphal. The war took place in 3 stages from 4th April 1944 to 22nd June 1944. The war ended in 22nd June 1944 when the British and Indian troops met.
Images of soldiers who had sacrificed their life for our country.
History of Kohima War Memorial. The Kohima War Cemetery is a memorial dedicated to the soldiers of the British Allied Forces who died in the Second World War in April 1944. The cemetery lies on the slopes of the garrison and it is situated on the exact location where the battle was fought.
About Kohima War Memorial. It was established on 1946, designed by Colin St. Clair Oakes, inaugurated by Field Marshal Sir William Slim. He was the commander of the 14th Army in Burma. Total number of burials 1,420.
Warriors from distant places fought battles against enemies whom they never knew. Young boys embraced bullets at unfamiliar terrains. When they left with unaccomplished dreams, they cried on our face. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. This is the tragedy of war. Love is shattered. The world becomes different. This pain is preserved for posterity by this eyewitness of the Second World War in his personal museum, making it a stark reminder of those dreadful days.
Good morning to one and all present here. Today my teammate and I, Jonathan Prince and I, Afan Javed, are going to present to you a PPT about Kohima War Memorial for the project day. The first half will be told by me and the second half will be told by Jonathan Prince. So let's just get into it. As you can see, this is the Kohima War Cemetery. Kohima War Cemetery is a memorial dedicated to soldiers of the 2nd British Division of the Allied Forces who died in the Second World War at Kohima, India. The soldiers died on the battleground of the Garrison Hill in the tennis court area. As you can see, this is the cemetery. It's made next to the area where the battle was fought. So it's a cemetery, and there has to be someone who maintains the cemetery. Maintenance of the cemetery is taken care by CWGC, that is Commonwealth War Graves Commission of India. They keep the full upkeep of the graveyard plus everything else. So these are some interesting facts about Kohima burial ground. There are 1,420 soldiers of Second World War buried there, and there's an additional of 917 Hindus and Sikhs who were cremated due to their beliefs. It was inaugurated by Field Marshal Sir William Slim. It was opened in 1946. This is the location of the Kohima Cemetery. It's in the center of the Kohima city, at a location where the decisive battle was won by the Allied forces during the Second World War, forcing the Japanese to retreat. The next half will be told by Jonathan Prince V.
So let's continue the presentation. Let's see about the history of the Kohima Cemetery. In March 1944, the Japanese 15th Army attacked the British troops stationed in Kohima with intent to prevent an attack on Burma. They laid siege on Allied forces in Kohima as well as Imphal. There were heavy casualties on both sides. In 2013, the British National Army Museum named the Battle of Kohima as Britain's greatest battle. So let's see some description of the cemetery. The cemetery was opened in the year 1946, and the architect of the cemetery was Colin St. Clair Dakes. The cemetery is a nice and peaceful location and is made right where the battle was fought, overlooking the city. Kohima epitaphs. When you go home and tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we have our today. The above verse, which became world famous, is attributed to John Maxwell Edmonds. So next slide we are going to see about the battle under the cherry tree. This is another name for the Battle of Kohima, because in the place where the Battle of Kohima took place, there was actually a cherry tree near the tennis court where the battle was fought. There is also a small brass plate which reads, for your tomorrow we have our today. The original tree was actually destroyed during the battle, but due to the reason it is called as the battle under the cherry tree. So let's see about the aftermath of the Battle of Kohima. In the aftermath of the fighting around Kohima, the troops of the 14th Army began an advance, with which the relief of Imphal, which would continue until Burma, had been recaptured. The battle was a turning point in the Battle of Kohima. So thank you, and we hope you liked our presentation.
Imphal War Memorial is located in Imphal, Manipur. The city became a focal point in defense of India against the Japanese. It is approachable from Imphal Dimapur Highway 39. It is open every day between 9 to 4:30 from March to September and 9 to 4 from October to February. This is a map, and as you can see, the War Cemetery is opposite the DM College of Science campus. The War Cemetery is 10 kilometers away from Imphal International Airport.
During the Second World War in 1942, the Japanese army occupied Burma by defeating the Commonwealth forces. Early in 1942, as the Japanese approached Rangoon, a very large proportion of its Indian population fled from the city to India, many of them to Upper Burma and so by Chindwin tracks to Assam. In May of that year, Commonwealth forces followed the same route on their retreat to India. Indian diaspora in Burma of nearly 400,000 people also fled to India, out of which nearly 140,000 are reported to have reached Assam via Imphal. Considering Imphal's strategic importance, the Japanese forces attacked Manipur in the spring of 1944. There was severe fighting in the surrounding hills and on the outskirts of the plain. The battle ended on 22nd June 1944 when British and Indian troops from Kohima and Imphal met at milestone 109. This battle is considered next only to the Battle of Kohima, for the Japanese army lost nearly 50,000 of their soldiers. This battle has been termed as the Normandy of the East. The cemetery now contains 1,600 Commonwealth burials of the Second World War. Thank you.
Features of Imphal War Memorial. Initially, the cemetery had 950 burials of war dead, but following the end of the Second World War, the total war burials went up to 1,600. The memorials have markers with brass plaques, the name of each of the fallen. The war dead commemorated are from many Commonwealth countries, such as 1,300 from the United Kingdom, 10 from Canada, 5 from Australia, 220 from India, 40 from East Africa, 10 from West Africa, and 10 from Burma.
Visitor information panels at the memorial incorporates the smartphone technology, enabling access to information about the battle at Imphal and personal stories of some of those who are commemorated in the cemetery. 400 such panels were proposed to be installed in 2014.
I am Madhvanti and I am going to be presenting about Madras War Memorial. History. The Madras 1914 to 1918 Memorial was built to commemorate more than 1,000 servicemen and women who died in India during the First World War, who were buried in civil and cantonment cemeteries in India, whose graves were considered to be unmaintainable after India gained the independence in 1947. Victory War Memorial, formerly called the Cupid's Bow, is a memorial in Chennai, India, originally constructed to commemorate the victory of the Allied army during World War I, which happened between 1914 to 1918, and later became the Victory War Memorial for World War II, which happened between 1939 to 1945, erected in the memory of those from the Madras Presidency who lost their lives in the wars. Later addition includes inscriptions of 1948 Kashmir aggregation, 1962 war with China, and the Indo-Pakistan War. For several years, the Commission has been working to reinstate the original graves of a large number of these individuals, and today the official commemoration of 900 individuals have been reverted back to their original burial location. However, their names will remain on the Madras 1914 to 1918 for the feasible future. These are the pictures of the cemetery. Location. Madras War Cemetery is about 5 kilometers from the airport and 14 kilometers from the central railway station. The GST, or the Great Southern Trunk Road, leads from the airport past Trident Hotel to Katipara roundabout. The way in via Mount Poonamali Road, passing at the foot of St. Thomas Mount. The cemetery can be easily located on the right-hand side of the road, 1 kilometer from St. Thomas Mount. From Madras Central Railway Station, the route is up to Mount Road, which is in Anna Sale, and over the bridge which crosses in the river Coon. The route passes St. Mary's Cemetery on Palwan Road and is via LIC building start situated on Mount Road, which leads to a Anna flyover and to Katipara Junction. The cemetery occupies 2.75 acres, that is 1.11 hectares, and contains the graves of 856 Commonwealth service people who died in the Second World War. It was established in 1952 by the Imperial War Graves Commission, which is known as the Commonwealth War Grave Commissions, to pay tribute to the people of the Commonwealth nations who died in military service. The cemetery is maintained by CWGC in par with Government of India. The cemetery is given to the CWGC under perpetual leadership Defence Ministry. The cemetery also includes Madras 9. Architectural importance. Each of the graves within the cemetery has the names of the people along with the year of or the period where they served the nation one way or the other. The place has gardens that are maintained regularly through ensuring cleanliness of the place. On the entrance to the cemetery, the people are being welcomed with a stone of remembrance where the names of the graves present in the place are portrayed. Another architectural characteristic of the cemetery is the cross of sacrifice, which is held upright with the stand made of bronze. The memorial is situated at the rear end of the cemetery, is designed in the form of a lawn cemetery. It contains names of the British soldiers who lost their lives during the war. It has names of more than 1,000 soldiers who died during the First World War. This is the architectural planning of the cemetery. Armistice Day. Every year on November 11th, the Armistice Day is celebrated here in the memory of the war and the blood it shed. November 11th is the day on which the armistice between the Allies and the Germany brought about an end to the World War I in 1919. The Madras War Cemetery, a formal event, is held every year and a prominent personality is invited to attend the occasion as a chief guest. Wreaths of flowers are laid at the stone of remembrance, the cross of sacrifice, and the memory of the First World War. Once the wreath is laid and the bugle is sounded, the attendees do their salutes, the guard of honor reverse arms, and 2 minutes of silence is observed for the souls of those departed. In the end, the present crowd pays their homage to the. This is a small virtual tour of the cemetery. Thank you.
Community of Class 11A. Today I'll be speaking about Delhi War Memorial or National War Memorial. Delhi War Memorial is located in New Delhi near India Gate. It's a monument built by the Government of India. It's built to honor the Indian Armed Forces. Delhi War Memorialist Yogesh Chandrahasan of BB Design Labs, Chennai, who is the chief architect of this monument. This monument is built on the design concept of Chakravyuha, which means an ancient circular battle formation for laying an efficient trap for the enemy. The four concentric circles of this war memorial is Amar Chakra, the circle of immortality, Vinta Chakra, circle of bravery, Tyag Chakra, circle of sacrifice, Rakshak Chakra.
Delhi War Cemetery was created in 1951 when graves from many cemeteries in northern India were moved into the site to ensure their permanent maintenance. Delhi War Cemetery also contains the Delhi 1914 to 1918 memorial, which was built to commemorate 153 casualties buried in Meerut Cantonment Cemetery, which
The various events held in Delhi War Memorial were the 21st anniversary of Kargil Vijay Divas and the Prime Minister of India lighting the eternal flame of a peep into the history. To build a national war memorial was under consideration starting right from 1961 at a national level. The Union Cabinet finally approved the construction of a national war memorial and museum on October 7, 2015.
Timeline. In 1960, the Indian Armed Forces first proposed for a national war memorial. Only in 2015 does the Union Cabinet pass a bill and allocates around 650 crores for this project. In April 2017, the result of the global design competition is announced. The Chennai-based Webby Design Labs proposal is declared to be the winner. On 1st January 2019, the construction of the memorial is completed, and on 25th February 2019, the war memorial is inaugurated.
Memorial pillars in India, World War I, World War II. Patiala State Force Memorial. The memorial commemorates the death of the military units of the erstwhile, precisely state of Patiala during the First World War. As the world celebrates the centenary of the First World War, it commemorates the sacrifice of total 162,219 servicemen and women from India. They fought and died about 50 countries across the world. There are a number of places that hold a special significance for them, where many Indian troops are remembered.
Victory War Memorial, formerly called the Cupid's Bowl, is a memorial in Chennai. India originally constructed to commemorate the victory of World War I and later became the Victory War Memorial of World War II. It was erected in the memories of those from the Madras Presidency who lost their lives in the wars. It also includes inscriptions of 1940 Kashmir aggression and 1962 war with China and the Indo-Pakistan War.
49 Bengalis Memorial, Kolkata, India. The memorial pays tribute to a remarkable unit. The 49 Bengalis was the only army unit composed entirely of ethnic Bengalis, raised in 1917 and disbanded in 1922. It was deployed on active service in Mesopotamia. The 49 Bengalis were trained in Karachi and dispatched to Mesopotamia in August 1917, reaching there in September. The 49 were put on guard duties at Tamil Nadu Royal Air Force Base. They are part of Indian Expeditionary Force D to be deployed in Mesopotamia against the Turkish. An estimated 32,000 officers and soldiers, most of them Indian, died in Mesopotamia.
Laskar War Memorial, Kolkata. Laskar War Memorial, located on the Napier Road in the eastern areas of Kolkata, is a memorial dedicated to the memory of 896 Laskars who died serving the ships of Royal Navy and British Military Service during the World War. The 100-feet high monument was unveiled by Lord Lytton with the Government of Bengal on 6th February 1924. The monument, built in a typical Oriental style and reflects the prow of an ancient galley, is also built in a typical Indian look, which has been given by adding wavy lines in a projected balcony. It is also built in an Indo-Mughal style by William Ingram Keir.
We are going to see the sum of Class 11 project. We learned about the psychological impact and PTSD. We learned how shell shock was very common among soldiers. We learned about the social impact. We learned about influenza, in which 11 to 13 million people perished. We learned about the economic impact, and there was a catastrophic depletion in the war infantry and loss of GDP was common. We learned about political impact, where nationalism was widespread and Gurkhas were fought for their bravery. What are war memorials and war memorials was also the topic we learnt about.
Let us see about types of war memorials. There are totally 17 types of war memorials and they are listed in these two slides. India Gate. India Gate is one of many British monuments built by order of Imperial War Graves. The structure is 42 meters tall and 9.1 meters wide. The monument is designed by the famous architect Edwin Lutyens. This slide contains few interesting facts about the India Gate. Kohima War Memorial. The Battle of Kohima took place in 1944 during the Second World War. Kohima War Cemetery is a memorial dedicated to soldiers of the 2nd British Division of the Allied Forces who died in the Second World War at Kohima.
Then we learnt about some interesting facts of the Kohima War Memorial, like its location, structure, aftermath, and many more. Next up, we had Imphal War Memorial, which is located in Manipur. Then we were provided with a detailed description of the Madras War Memorial, like its location, structure, history, description, visiting hours, and many more. Then we focused on 4 major war memorial pillars, which were Patiala State Force Memorial, Victoria War Memorial, 49 Bengalis War Memorial, Kolkata, and Laskar War Memorial, Kolkata. Lastly, we studied about the Delhi War Memorial and a note on the National War Memorial, which is a monument built by the Government of India. Thank you.